Hey everyone, it's Jamie Slays, and today I'm going to talk to you about love and hate relationships between me and guitars. I'm sure you've all been there. Your friend gets a new guitar, you go over to their house, they won't stop going on about how much they love it, and then you play it, you pick it up and you go, ugh, I hate it. But I guess it's like one man's trash is another man's treasure, that kind of thing. Just because they love it doesn't mean you will, just because you hate it doesn't mean anyone else will hate it. So I'm going to talk about guitars that I hate and guitars that I love. I'm going to choose 5 that I hate, 5 that I love. I'm going to jump straight in with Gibson Les Paul. Controversial, I know. Nowadays I guess they're seen more as like boomer dad rock guitars. I really like them, and the thing I hate the most about them is that I love them, but I just don't get on with them. I love James Hetfield. I love all the guitars that he plays pretty much, and I'm a massive fanboy of Metallica, but not enough to buy a Les Paul or a Flying V or an Explorer. I just don't get on with them. They're quite heavy, the necks are quite thick. I don't really like hardtail tunematic bridge systems. I don't really love the fact that the pickup selectors are at the top. The up and down is usually always 3-way, where I really like 5-way. I don't like that they have 2 volume, 2 tone, and I don't love the fact that they're 3-way headstock, so 3 on one side, 3 on the other. I tend to prefer inline ones, whether they be reverse or not reverse. So yeah, I like them, but you know, for the sake of this video, I hate them. The ones I've played have been fine, but they're hard to sit with. I've only recently been sitting in that classical position with my leg up, and they sit well like that, but otherwise they kind of fall off, and they're not the greatest thing in the world. So yeah, jumping straight in at number 1, Les Pauls. Sorry everyone. The next one, 10-string guitars. I mean, is it a bass? Is it a guitar? Is it 2 guitars combined? Is it an extra high string or is it an extra low string? I'm not sure. Never actually played one, but I know I hate it enough to not want to play one. I've played an 8-string, I've played a 7-string, I own some 7-strings. I've played a 9-string, I didn't really like it, and then 10 is just a bit absurd, isn't it? I think the only 10-string that exists is possibly the Jared Dines one. But I'm pretty sure Andrew Boehner had like an Agile or something. I don't know if that was 9 or 10. But yeah, I guess to the point where it's just so low you can't even really hear it. And don't get me wrong, I love, you know, low tune guitars, and I love, you know, really heavy Meshuggah-y type stuff, but just getting a bit absurd now, isn't it? So yeah, Flying V is the next one. Again, soz everyone, but I just don't get on with them. Again, you can't really sit with them. There's no horn on the side, so I can't really rest it on my leg. I tend to, as you probably know, sit in front of a computer with a guitar, and when I'm recording and typing and cutting and pasting, I'm like, the guitar will just fall over. So I'd have to put a strap on the guitar, and it's pretty good when you stand up, and it's good if you're punching it in between your legs like Dimebag style, but I'm just not drawn to them, especially if they have a heavy headstock. They'll just have neck dive and they'll just tip over. Again, it's another headstock and guitar style that James Hetfield loves, and I wish I loved them because I love James Hetfield, but yeah, they're just not for me. I do, however, love Jackson King V's and the Randy Rhoads Concorde shape, but I don't own any, but the ones I've played I really liked. But yeah, the traditional kind of rounded edge Flying V Gibson type I don't really like. Headless guitars, especially this one. I don't get it. I don't really get the whole headless guitar thing. Again, fine tuners like a Floyd Rose on the bottom. Can it have neck dive? I guess that's the point. It stops having neck dive because there's no neck head attachment with all the heavy tuning pegs on it to fall over, make it fall over even. Yeah, I've just never really got on with the idea of it. I guess I subconsciously use the headstock as a way to keep my hand in a place. Like if you're playing like, you know, Deathcore 0101 Slipknot style, there's nothing there to rest your hand on. So how do you like, I don't know, to me it looks like a toy. It looks like it feels like a toy. And yeah, I think for me, everything I know about guitar and I love, especially, you know, like people like Dimebag and Ibanez headstock and all that kind of stuff, it's the headstock is part of the allure to it, like the Ibanez logo, and the reversed Jackson headstock is one of my favourite ones, and the ESP M2 headstock is one of my favourite ones, so then to cut that off, it just seems a bit odd. And then I think it was people like Steinberger and Strandberg that kind of started doing the like travel guitars that are headstockless, so they could fit in boxes or be folded up and stuff. And yeah, I just don't like that idea. I don't like the idea of a guitar feeling like a toy, like it's just like strapped to your body like a keytar or something. So yeah, I'm not really interested in that either. And then for the final one that I don't really like, the Dean split tail. I mean, what's that all about? I get the idea, like the ML, the Dimebag guitar, is an Explorer and a V combined. Bottom half is the V, little horn bit that comes out is the Explorer bit, and I think it works. It looks cool. I mean, to be fair, I probably only love it the most because Dimebag had one, and wait for the next 5 ones that I love because you'll be surprised. But the split tail is just double cut and a V, but not just a V, it's like the pointy razorback style V, so it just looks a bit weird. I'm pretty sure Zakk Wylde's company has got a similar type guitar. I'm not sure if it was designed with him in mind or Dimebag designed it with Dean for a gift for Zakk Wylde, or Zakk Wylde commissioned it with them and then he made his own company and they made their own, but I just don't like it. It's an SG and a flying V combined and it just looks a bit gross. Sorry everyone if you do like it, this is just my opinion. And it doesn't mean that I hate them and I hate everyone who's got one. I just wouldn't buy one and I wouldn't necessarily play one. I could change my mind down the line, by the way, so if you see me playing one in the future, it doesn't mean that I've become a corporate shill or whatever. I just maybe I've changed my mind. So yeah. Now we're on to the ones that I really, really like. So I think most of these, looking at my list, are ones that I either own or want to own. The first one is the most obvious for all of you if you've been following me for a while, is the Ibanez RG. Got a few of them, if you can see behind me. I've got Prestiges, I've got Iron Label. I think my favourite is the Iron Label RG-AIX6FM. You may see it quite a lot. I use it all the time. It's got my own signature pickups in it, the Jamie Slade's Gatekeeper from Legendary Pickups. Hi Jason. And it's like a workhorse. It's got a string through bridge and all that kind of stuff, so there's no faffing around. But my favourite ones usually tend to have a floating bridge on them, either an Edge or a Floyd Rose. So yeah, the RG, you can't really go wrong with that one. I think it stands for road guitar or something like that, regular guitar. So yeah, number one, Ibanez RG, any kind of them, it doesn't matter, I've got loads. Then we have the DML, whoa, surprise! Dimebag DAW Pantera. I didn't know about DMLs until I started listening to and watching videos of Pantera in like 2003, long time ago. Rest in peace, the best guitarist ever, most influential ever. Well, at least for me anyway. Yeah, the DML is great, it's iconic, it looks cool. They're quite loud acoustically when you play through them. You can hear them without even an amp. Floyd Rose usually, well, I would buy one with a Floyd Rose, I wouldn't necessarily get one without one. The volume is singular for each pickup, and the pickup selector is three-way, easier to wire up as well for the pickup switching because it goes to its own volume, so it's easier if you're just changing out one or both. And the the pickup selector is on the horn rather than up close to your body, which I was saying before with the Les Paul I don't like. Yeah, the next one is ESP MH and M. So I've got an MH and an M here. I've got the M2, which is one of my newest guitars for anyone who hasn't seen it recently. And I've got the MH1000 that I've had since 2006. This has got a Tunematic bridge, string through, locking tuners, inline headstock, and this has a reverse headstock, ESP made in Japan, maple fretboard, Fishman pickups that it came with, Seymour Duncan's originally, then it was changed to EMGs, then it was changed to Fishman's, got Floyd Rose, just one volume, one pickup selector with three-way, floating bridge, food tone upgrades, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, these two are some of my favourite guitars I've ever owned, but the M2 is slowly becoming my favourite one, as well as my Ibanez RG 2920 Tiger Eye Burl one. But they're just metal, aren't they? They're like the plain black ones are sick, like the fretboards are great, they're super fast necks for playing riffs and leads. They're not like tailored for one thing. I think sometimes it looks like Ibanez are kind of tailored more towards shreddy stuff. Paul Gilbert, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, that kind of thing, whereas with ESP for me it's like Metallica, it's Parkway Drive, it's Architects, it's like all the bands that have, paved the way for metalcore and all these kind of things for the last few decades, I guess. So yeah, ESP, can't go wrong with those. The Jackson Soloist, love that guitar. Kind of most of the Jacksons I love, the Super Strat styles, the King V, the RR Concorde shape, the Randy Rhodes. But the Soloist and the Dinky are my two favourites. I think the biggest difference is the Dinky is slightly shorter scale, which is why it's called a Dinky, and smaller frets, and the Soloist is not. Also, one I think tends to have a bolt-on neck and one has a neck through. They've just done a new Made in Japan range and there's one that's neck through and one that's bolt-on, so I think that's how you can kind of tell the difference. And I think one has a reverse headstock and one doesn't. Jackson reverse headstocks are some of the best headstocks ever. ESP had a similar one. I think there was a whole lawsuit, so you can get ESP pre-lawsuit headstocks that are like the Kirk Hammett ones from like 1989 or something. And yeah, they're great. Floyd Rose without Floyd Rose, single coil, neck, humbucker in the bridge, that kind of thing. The cool fret inlays, the like shark fin Love that. The Jackson logo is cool. Again, the headstock is in a super great angle, and the body is just like a strap but better. So it's like Charvel evolved into, you know, more metal Jackson. So yeah, that one as well. And then the final one, most of these tend to be guitars I own, by the way, but the final one is solo. So I have two solo guitars. I have an S1.6 Poplar Burl, and I can never remember, I've got one here that I'll get in a sec that I can never remember what it is, but it's a bolt-on 7-string. It's this one. I love it because it actually, funnily enough, reminds me of an Ibanez, one that had this kind of finish. I'll put a picture of it in the video as well so you can see. But it's a bolt-on. I think it was the first time Solo did bolt-ons. Before that they were all neck through. I think it's a 5-piece neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it looks like it. Locking tuners, gold hardware, which is amazing. Had the pickups changed to be bare knuckle ones, 5-way switch. The knobs are just standard volume and tone. It's quite a heavy guitar, but sometimes that's the hardware that's doing that. But yeah, both my solos I really like. If you like Ibanez and Jackson and ESP, then you'll love Solo. They're kind of a combination of all three. Ola is definitely someone who likes guitar. A lot of guitar brands have owners that don't necessarily even play guitar, so sometimes it's hard to kind of know what people are going to like if you don't do it yourself. It's kind of like, how do you sell a car if you can't drive, kind of thing. I guess that makes sense. One thing that's really important for most people is that the volume knob is nowhere near the bridge pickup. A lot of people actually change where they are, so they move them to the tone one because they get in the way all the time. My friend Domicidal, hi mate, and Brad and Jack Harris, we all kind of moan about it quite a lot because it's just getting in the way. So yeah, Ola clearly knows what he's doing because he moves them out of the way. This one's a standard scale as well, so it actually still feels quite nice, whereas I've had 7 strings in the past, maybe like 7 or so that I got rid of because then I don't like the extended range stuff, so I probably should have said that in the things I don't like. But yeah, this one I think is 25.5. Yeah, love it. Ola sent me this one as a gift. Thank you very much, mate. I've still got it. It's great. I'll use it in more videos coming up soon. But yeah, those are the guitars that I love and the guitars that I hate. Today's video is brought to you by DistroKid. So you may be asking yourself, what's a DistroKid? Do I want a DistroKid? Yeah, you want a DistroKid. I use DistroKid to basically put my music on all streaming platforms. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, pretty much everywhere. It's really affordable. You get to keep all the profits. It's really easy to upload music. You can post covers as well, but you do have to pay for a license for that. It allows you to pay royalties to anyone that's involved, feature people, credit people, put lyrics. They've even got DistroVid now, so you can put music videos on the internet as well. And don't forget, click the VIP code in the description below to get 7% off your first annual subscription. Thanks again to DistroKid for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around and hopefully watching the whole video. Let me know in the comment section below which guitars you love and which guitars you hate, maybe one of each. Let me know if you like or dislike the ones that I chose. Sorry Gibson lovers, I kind of completely ragged on the entire brand, but I like them. Like I said, James Hetfield plays them, but I just wish I liked them more. I'm a huge James Hetfield fan. He's got ESP guitars that I really like, but I don't own any of them. Annoyingly, I would rather own the Kirk Hammett ESP KH or the new Gibson ones that he's having made. Hopefully there's going to be a James Hetfield Gibson 84 Explorer reissue in the kind of aged white, vintage white finish. There's a leak of it at the moment, well not a leak, one of the guys from Gibson has posted it on his Instagram and it looks like it's fairly in line with the one that James had. So hopefully it's either a production line one or might be a custom or a signature. Hopefully a signature because it means we can buy one, and then maybe I'll buy one then. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, subscribe because I post new videos like this all the time. I do reels every day, I do live streams on Instagram and on YouTube, and I've got a whole back catalogue of me playing medleys and stuff. So thanks for sticking around and watching the video, really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next week for some more videos.